Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
And we are back, second hour of Ken's Den here on the 18th day of October in the year 2022, Anno Domini. And you know, everyone knows I'm the foodie in the group, and I love to have discussions about food, the food business.
I'm the second foodie.
Anything like that, yes. So yeah, when Pete and I are on the road, we're hitting a lot of different places, and we're picking apart what's on our plate. So it's very weird dining with them.
Also, both of you like to cook as well as eat it. You do like to cook, so
That's
you're very
true.
interested in every single thing that goes on in the kitchen and in the food preparation business. So.
And I've been looking to expand past just the chefs down here, and you know, we have John Slattery come in.
We do.
I want to have more a different chef, a different restaurant owner come in, you know, like once a month, and then maybe have them come back a few months later. But I want to have a big rotation so we get a big representation of what's out there. And I'm starting all that off with Nadim from Nadim's Downtown.
Excellent.
Good morning, Nadim.
How are you?
Morning.
All right.
Thrilled to be here, guys.
So,
Good to have you.
folks are probably going to recognize you from being on Mass Appeal with Patrick Berry. Now, a lot of people who watch Mass Appeal don't know this, but Patrick Berry got his start right at this table before he went on to WWLP.
That's neat.
Yeah, he was
Actually,
one of us.
He wasn't at this table. He was downtown in his own shop.
At his own shop,
Yep.
and then here.
He had his own coffee shop.
So
Yep.
yeah, it's you know, we all have potential here.
Right. Well, hey, I'm looking forward to growing from here, man.
Yeah. So things are a little different here. You get like 2 7-minute segments to do a food demo on Mass Appeal. Where here, I might go the entire hour if possible, just talking about food and your business and whatnot. So it's a completely different program. You might find it refreshing because it's not the same old. Also, I want to mention to our viewers right now, when we're done here, Nadim has graciously said he is fine with going down to our culinary department here at Westfield Technical Academy to speak with the students down there. And Chef Rogers is really looking forward to having that happen.
Excellent.
I'm very excited as well.
All right. But before I actually get into the nuts and bolts of anything, we like to get to know folks who are coming on here for the first time. So let's hear your story. You know, who is Nadim? Where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to school? How'd you get here?
Oh my God, this is I don't think we can cover all that in an hour. But you know, born in Monrovia, Liberia in '64. You know, I come from Lebanese descent. We moved back to Lebanon in '74. And of course, we've been through the Civil War on and off over there, which made it a little difficult to grow up. But you know, we made good what we had. And you know, my father, and this is where it all got instilled in me. My father owned a hotel in Lebanon.
Oh, okay.
So since I was,
So you've always been in
I've
hospitality.
always
somehow.
been in hospitality. So I don't want to. Since I was an infant, when I was a teenager. My father put me to work, of course, with no pay, but it's understandable. And I threatened him a couple of times, I'm going to go get a job somewhere else. And he said, go, and I never went.
Yep.
But
I'll
he
call
was,
your bluff.
right?
Yeah.
But he was generous enough, you know what? He gives me a couple bucks to go buy something, and I always leave that change. You know, we never needed anything growing up anyhow. So towards the end of '89, there was a decision to be made. Am I going to stay in Lebanon and continue with my sales job, or should I go back to my birth country, which is Liberia? And my uncle in Liberia owned 2 compounds, which he rented or leased rather to the U.S. Embassy and the UN.
Wow.
So I decided to go to Liberia. I went towards the end of the '89 to Liberia, September, and the Civil War started over there. So I had a choice to make either go back to Lebanon, which I don't want to go back, or get a visa to the United States. And I was fortunate enough to be able to get a visa and come to this beautiful country. I landed in this country in January 6th of 1990. I'm not really good with dates. You know, the birth of my children and arriving to this country. Sometimes it's debatable when is my anniversary.
Right. Yeah.
My wife says that 21st, I say that 20th, but we go back, we refer back to the certificate. So, a long story short, I came to this country. We work. You know, we were raised to work hard. A great work ethic was instilled in us by my father, a very knowledgeable person. Started working. Believe it or not, my first job was at a deli in Newton, Mass. When I landed in this country, I went to the eastern part of the state where my sister resided, so I stayed with her. So I started working at deli, and this is, if you read my story on my website.
Well, I did, and that's why I'm asking you here.
This is where my passion came to appreciate a nice corned beef sandwich, pastrami, and brisket. Now I see your mouth is watering like mine.
Yeah, I've been to Katz's. I get it.
No, this is, let me tell you, this
Yeah.
deli does it. Oh, and New York, yeah, you know, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. So I started working in the business. I love the business, but this is not for me, you know. And let me tell you, that experience and working and waiting on people, it was a humbling experience, because I come from sales. I was good at it. I did a great job. I made a good living in it. And here I am slicing corned beef and brisket. So just arriving to this country, it humbled me a lot. But you know what? You have the drive in you. You move forward. I ended up going from working at delis, getting a job as a car salesman, I was in it for 9 months. I'm going to tell you, with all due respect to car salespeople, I really hated that job.
Yeah.
So I switched dealers within the 9 months, thinking it's one dealer and the other, and it turned out it's not
It's not you,
place. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I met one of the Hanush cousins. I was up in Nashua, New Hampshire, believe it or not. I went one of the Hanush cousins, and he offered me a job at the Nashua store, and I took it.
Right.
And I love this is a business that I truly loved, because you're dealing with people with happy occasions.
Oh, okay.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So there's always a christening, a celebration of something, an anniversary, an engagement, a wedding. So there's always a happy occasion.
They don't have to be there. They want to be there. to make it.
Exactly.
It's not like buying insurance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to be there. This is I want to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm good at what I do. What I do I excel in. I learned a lot about it, and I better myself, and I did very well with them. Unfortunately, things didn't work out with the family.
Advancement.
100%. You know, I think you read it on my story, and I ended up moving to another fantastic company in downtown Crossing in Boston, which is called, if I may, it's called E.B. Horn Company. 22 years ago, it was in business for 160 years, so they've been there. I worked with that company for 2 years. By the time I left them, I was the pearl buyer for that company. I was certified in grading pearls. This is, and I'm telling you, this is what I do.
You go from one extreme to another.
Now I joke. I say, I used to deal with South Sea pearl, the large pearl, and now I deal with pearl onions. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So-
I like what you did there.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
So I believe there's a path for everybody in life. I'm not a 100% religious person, but I believe that God has a path for you. I came down to meet with one of the Hanush brothers because they had a location in Salem, Mass. And I always had a passion for the food. I always had gathering at my house. We always cooked. We always get a lot of compliments. I said, you know what? I want to make a living out of it. I ran it by one of my cousins that he owned a restaurant for 40 years in New York. I said, cuz, what do you think? I'm going to open a restaurant. He said, you don't want to do that. It's a lot of work.
How many restaurant owners were told that in the beginning? I think every one, right?
Now thinking about it now, I was like, I should have listened to my cousin. You know what I mean? He was right. So anyhow, long story short, I came to talk to one of the brothers about a location that they have in Salem, Salem, New Hampshire. And he said, how much money you have? What do you want to do? Anyhow, he said, why don't you? I was for that meeting on a Monday. He said, how about Cafe Lebanon which was back then, it was on State Street. I don't know if you remember.
I remember.
She opened, the lady, Marie Zady, God rest her soul, she opened up a location on State Street where the old McDonald's used to be. Unfortunately, things didn't work out for her. She bit more than she can chew. And unfortunately, she had to fold and the bank took it over. My timing was impeccable. I came in, made an offer to the bank. If I tell you how much I paid the bank, it probably would fall off that chair.
Well, right before everything went crazy, that's when I picked up my house. Okay. So I know how you just walk into an opportunity and you're like, oh wow, and then a month or a year later you're like, what
how did that
what happened?
Right?
Yeah.
I picked up the restaurant from the bank for $13,000.
Oh, jeez.
My rent was $1,000 a month. I said to myself, what am, if it doesn't work out, worst case scenario, I shut it down.
And you're out not that much.
I'm out, not that much.
That's called an opportunity.
Exactly. And when
See what I meant about that?
Yes. And I was gonna look over there, but he's
hiding. Yeah.
So I took it, but let me tell you, it was a very hard, difficult road. People look at me and say, well, you're an overnight success. I said, yeah, it's an overnight success, 15, 16 years in the making. It took some nights that I was extremely tired to even go to sleep and extremely tired to wake up and go to work. I used to pray for a holiday because we were open 7 days a week. We pray for a holiday, snow day, just for me to close and get some breathing room.
Yeah.
Little by little, I built it up, and thankfully, people migrated towards the food. And I took what I learned in the business of the jewelry and I applied it. I treat you as if you're buying a $50,000 diamond and you might be buying a chicken kebab sandwich for $5. But it works for me. This is me. I'm not pretending, but this is what I do. I love what I do. And I'm at the restaurant early and I want to impress you, want to make sure you come back. I want to know your name. I want to know all about you. We did it. It worked. And towards 04, I wanted something had to be done. Either I'm going to renovate the location that I'm at or figure something else.
Right.
In 04, we bought a house in Westfield. I used to reside in Springfield. Now we live in Westfield.
Oh, okay. So that's something I did know. So you didn't really have a very big trek to get here.
Right.
That's good.
So
I feel better.
So every time going home to Westfield, it's either I can go straight down State Street, jump on 91, Mass Pike, get home, or I make a right on Main Street, go between the two hotels, which is the Sheraton and Marriott, make a right, and get on 91.
Yeah.
I often made the right on Main Street because there's Tilly's. Remember Tilly's back then?
Yeah, I actually managed a shop downtown when it was still called Bay State West.
Oh, wow.
Now
you're dating yourself.
Yeah, I am dating myself. So I'm very, very familiar with the downtown area.
Tilly's is a location that every time I drove by, I looked, I said, I love that location. I love that location. And after a couple months, I reached out to my lawyer. I said, find out who's the landlord. So we did. It was, I don't know what I'm not gonna name names, but we reached out to him, and he said, I'm interested. I said, perfect. We're interested. We draw the lease, send it to me. I signed it. We send it over. A week later, my lawyer called me up. He said, I have some bad news for you. I said, what is it? He said, the landlord wants to give the people from Tilly's another go at it. Let me tell you, my landlord is a shrewd lawyer, but he is extremely fair.
Okay, yeah.
Extremely fair. So, I understood the situation, but I was told that the space next to Tilly's used to be an Italian restaurant back then. You probably know, I don't know if it was an Italian restaurant. Don't ask me the name, but it was. I said, you know what, let me take a look at it. So I made an appointment with the building super, and I went in probably a couple of weeks after, and we were looking around, and I said, I'm going to do a restaurant. We were looking at the space next door, Tilly's. I was there on a Monday. He said, just to let you know, the people packed and left on Saturday. I said, what? I said, great news. Thank you so much. I reached out to my lawyer. I said, they left. So we reached back to the landlord, and all we did is we updated the dates because 2-3 months went by.
Yep.
And we started the renovation on it. And let me tell you, it has been an awesome journey moving to that section of downtown that puts you right in the middle of the heart of the city. You have the Tower Square, yeah.
With a new hotel now.
With the new hotel, beautiful.
Yeah.
We had a reception. Actually, I got awarded and I got recognized by Stick for my work that I did with them throughout the cafeteria. So we did a walk through the hotel. Let me tell you, they spent $50 million on that hotel.
Yeah, I've actually worked with that Patel family in my previous job at some of their hotels with their television systems of all things.
Oh, really?
So yeah, they're very, very in touch with what needs to be done with the hotel business. I mean,
it's very exciting.
they nail it every time.
Oh my God. They stole those 2 buildings, but that's not here nor there.
Oh,
But,
you see how much that building went for? That's crazy.
I know, right? So, of course, we started working in '05, and in the meantime, we ended up, me and my brother-in-law, we opened up a location up in Northampton, which he's going to run that one, and I'm going to continue doing my operation in downtown, and things kind of blossomed from there.
Is the Northampton location?
No, we closed it 2.5 years later. we closed it.
Because I was working in Northampton for 24 and a half years until COVID hit. Might I ask which location was
Well,
it?
it was on Conn Street, 2 Conn Street.
Okay.
This is the problem is the location, and
Yeah.
it cost me a lot of money, and location.
Yeah, you've got the parking lot right there, but it's still off the beaten path, even though there's a downtown parking lot there.
Right, and
Yeah.
we figured that parking lot will be an asset to us. Unfortunately, people park and they kind of
Okay, I remember that location now.
Yeah.
You don't need to mention anything further, but
Yeah.
I remember it being there.
It's cute, it's tiny, but,
Yeah.
but when we went fine dining on it, and Northampton, a beautiful city,
Yeah.
but it's more of Northampton has changed course, and
Big time,
they
the
want
past
everything was
10,
fine
15
dining.
years.
Now it's going more into a casual dining.
Yeah.
So we closed it down. I moved everything to East Longmeadow, and I was there for 7 years. But downtown location was called Nadim's Cafe Lebanon. For legality reason, I couldn't use Cafe Lebanon because it wasn't my name, so we just added Nadim's Cafe Lebanon. In 2010, I hired a consultant. Sometimes once in a while you have to hire, somebody from the outside to come and look to see, point what's wrong.
Exactly.
And he says to me, we're changing the name. I said, we're changing the name to what? He said, we're going to call it Nadim's. I said, absolutely not. I've been advertising. I've been promoting Cafe Lebanon. I'm certainly not going to change it right now. He said, we're changing the name. And guess what? We changed the name. And we added a couple other items. We changed it from being a Middle Eastern restaurant to more of a Mediterranean restaurant.
Right.
So it kind of attracted a broader audience, and we added, pasta dish. We added steak to the menu. We added many other items that is fantastic.
Now, at this time, even 10 years beforehand, that's when a lot of the world culinary stuff, world experiences just started to really become popular.
Right.
The cooking shows on PBS didn't quite do it, but then that Travel Channel and the Food Channel came out, the Food Network. And then within years, now you see everyone, okay, well, I've heard of sushi, let me try it.
Right.
And now we have sushi places all over the place. And same thing with Mediterranean foods and you name it. That we didn't really have that presence, at least in this area, until 25 years ago. Now, you go on into Boston,
New York.
L.A., you had it, but not around here.
Right. Well, keep in mind, Boston and New York, it's such a great melting pot of different cultures. You have to. And let me tell you, if in one of those cities you're not the best, tell you what, you're going to get squashed.
Right.
Because, your rent is expensive, your labor is expensive. So if you're not up to par, and that's why when you go to New York or Boston, you're going to have a nice meal, a nice service. Otherwise, the restaurant won't make it.
Yeah. So we got his background covered, and we know how he has now arrived down on Main Street. But before I dive in, did you have any questions or any follow up on that?
No. I've been listening because I also read the background, and it's just so interesting that you have such a varied background to get to where you are from where you were.
Right.
It's just an interesting path. I think more people should be aware of it.
Yeah.
You know, not like some of us who went to college became this and stayed this forever and ever and ever. It's
Yeah,
just
some people
very
have gone to Johnson and Wales, and they're not working in a restaurant right now. Where you didn't have any
Let me tell
official
you,
culinary.
You probably read on my story. I said, people ask me, where do you learn to cook? I said, well, I get married in '94. I said, neither one of us cook, so it's either we're going to eat every meal out, or somebody has to learn. And I ended up being the one, and I love it. I love cooking.
There's something satisfying about it.
Very much so, very much. And you know what is more satisfying? When I cook and when I'm sitting, and probably the audience time, when a customer sitting down having his dinner or lunch, and he's going like, and they shaking their head, in enjoyment. This is more satisfying to me than anything else, because it's a real message, subliminal message. It's coming from his heart that he's really enjoying. Or he closes his eyes and put his, I'm enjoying the meal. And this is what is more satisfying to me than anything else.
So you are a chef owner now. Are you on the line every night?
I was on the line last night.
Okay.
I try not to be on the line because
All right.
I
when you get to a certain point, you're a chef owner, but then you're never on the line anymore. I mean,
let me tell you, I enjoy it, but I hate to be pushed to be on the line. Unfortunately, I had one of my guys, he's on vacation. He comes back today, and I hope he's not going to be late, which he's known for that. Saturday I work the line. I'm not afraid to work. I love it. People want to see me on the line, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? But I have enough stuff to take care of on the back end of the house,
right.
for me to be stuck on the line. Plus, I want to be able to walk around. I know a lot of people that come into the restaurant.
And do you really want to be told what to do by someone that you've hired?
No. When I hire, I'm the expediter, my friend.
I was going to say, yeah.
I am in charge on the line, and everybody knows it.
All right. So when you're in there, you're
They don't like it when I'm on the line because you know what? It's showtime. We have it.
It's Gordon Ramsay time.
That's it.
Down and dirty.
Less the squares because I have an open kitchen.
Okay.
We have to behave. No loud noises. No banging pong.
That must be difficult.
I love it though. It puts us on our best behavior, and it makes sure that I don't come off the handle. But they know when I stop what I'm doing and I kind of look towards them, they know, so but I love it. What I enjoy the most is my cooking classes that I do once a month.
Yes.
Those have been selling like hotcakes. I do it once a month. It's a class of 8 people. We were before putting them up for sale per ticket, but now we're having groups of people to just buy the class. How much for the class? I'll take it. So boom.
Yeah. Right in your commercial kitchen? Or-
Yeah. Upstairs. We do it on a Saturday from 11 to 2. We don't get there till 2 o'clock to open because we're not open for lunch on Saturday. I go in 9:30, get ready, and get whatever. But it's a 5-course cooking class. We do an appetizer, we do a salad, a starch, a meat, and we do dessert. And let me tell you, and we have some beer and wine, and at the end we have to roll them out, man. They don't want to leave. We gotta go. We have to open the restaurant. But
you'd never get rid of me if I were to go over there.
That's true.
So it's a lot of fun. But this is the kind of stuff that I like to do. Go into doing your show and doing the Mass Appeal and other stuff. So.
Yeah, we last school year we filmed the Chef Challenge.
We did.
And it took place over multiple episodes. It was like a mix between Iron Chef and Guys Grocery Games and whatnot. And I sat in as a judge.
2 seniors made the mistake of coming to me and asking me what they should do for a senior project.
Nice. What did you tell them?
I showed them Iron Chef, and they're like, "Ooh, we have a good idea to start."
Oh, nice.
There you
That's
go.
awesome.
And it came
And
out
they adapted it on their own. So
That's awesome.
It came out really well. I can send you the links to them. The episodes really aren't that
Yeah,
long.
please do. Yeah.
But they had judges set up, but some couldn't make it. So I sat in, and I think it's going to be a permanent thing now because I actually realized that I knew what I was talking about. And at the end of all the filming, the lead chef over here walks up to me and he called me chef. So I consider that an honor, because I was able to, speak the language and use the correct terminology. That week, I bought myself some Chef Black, and I almost wore it today, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to be full of attitude.
I would have felt underdressed in front of you.
Yeah. It's just the basic, the short sleeve
Right.
blacks, but with the embroidered
Well,
name.
maybe we'll get you an honorary shirt from the restaurant. We do give those very selectively, though.
Wow.
So these cooking classes that you're in, what started you doing that? What made you interested in that?
I don't know. I figured we'll try it out, and it was a little sluggish taking off, and then it took off. And I have October, November, and I have December sold out.
Gee.
Now, are you the only one that runs it, or do you have other people?
I'm the only one that runs it. I have one person that helps me know if I'm the,
One Sue, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if cooking with Nadim, I can't say cooking with Nadim and give them somebody else. You know what I mean? So cooking with Nadim, and that's one part of the experience. Let me tell you, we sit down and we talk and we chop and we do. It's a hands-on class, so it's a lot of fun. If you don't wanna, if you wanna just stand and watch, and we're okay with
And
it.
you get into knife technique.
Of
and
course,
everything,
of
yeah.
course, yeah.
Now, is
We
it
make them sign a
something that-
waiver before they walk in.
Beginners do it, or are they people that have some knowledge, or
Show me the money, and you can be in my class any day of the week. That's the name of the game.
And if you're providing the knives, so they're nice and sharp, so they work, right?
Oh, yeah, well,
That's the worst thing in the kitchen is a dull knife.
knife.
Yeah.
But it's towards the end of the week. We get them sharpened on Monday. So towards the end of on Saturday, they kind of a little dull, which is fine.
Sharpen them that off. Are they high carbon or?
We deal with the company. They just came in. They bring us a new set. They take the old set. That's it.
Oh, wow.
$20 a week for the whole restaurant. Yeah,
That's
I don't
that's
pay
beautiful.
for knives, nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that the carbon steel you have to keep sharpening,
Yeah.
but I'm using a Henkel's stainless, which
Nice.
I hone it every now and then, but I keep that thing sharp because when you go down to slice something, if it doesn't like it and it walks, I mean, you got a nice little scar right here from it.
Yeah.
Experience.
Technically, you need a sharp knife to do the work for you because but some people they just kind of push and press down. No. Just let the knife do it. If it's
just
nice and
walk
sharp.
it.
Yeah, just
Just
that's it.
you grab it out, pinch it between your thumb and your finger, and you just get good control, and it's effortless once you actually learn how to handle one.
There's a technique for everything in life. There's a technique for what are you doing, and same with me. There's always a technique how to do stuff.
All right. So we covered 1, 2. We covered 3. Remember, I mentioned now and then we don't even get through the entire list.
Correct.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Don't tell me we're done.
No. Oh no. It's called Nadim's Downtown Mediterranean Grill, right? Now, Mediterranean. Can you describe that? Because I look at the menu, I see Greek, I see Turkish, I see Lebanese. I mean, what makes food Mediterranean?
Well, we added the pasta, to be Italian. We have the spinach pie for the Greek. But I need you to keep in mind, like, for course, we have the hummus, which is kind of debatable who came up with it. We Lebanese people, we say we did it.
I
and
don't
other
know.
people
I
say-
know another group that claims
I
they
know we're
did.
not gonna go with there, but this is it's an ongoing battle, So who does the? But let me tell you, we share, like the Turkish. We don't have anything that is Turkish related. With all due respect to Turkish cuisine, the spices that they use is a little louder than ours.
Okay.
So we don't use that, but similar. We have the kebabs. They do the kebabs. We have the kafta. We have, the rice pilaf and stuff like that.
Right. That's what I saw, and that's what got
Yeah.
me thinking in that direction.
Well, we can't give them credit for that. This is all Lebanese product.
Really? Okay.
But like the rice pilaf is a Greek item as well. But their rice pilaf is a little different than ours. But everything that you will have at the restaurant that is Lebanese related, I can promise you and guarantee you, even if you go to Lebanon, and I was in Lebanon twice this year so far, you're not gonna get any better food than this. This is it. This is the real McCoy. There's no shortcuts with me. I don't allow it, and I will not tolerate it. And I tell my staff, if I don't eat it, or you don't eat it, we do not serve it.
Right.
That's the bottom line. I posted a picture maybe a couple of weeks ago. We ran out of lettuce, and I volunteered to go cut the lettuce because I don't want to be on the line. I figured I'll be downstairs.
Okay.
We have two kitchens down there.
Right.
So I went. Let me tell you, this table over here, 3/4 of it was full of pile of lettuce that is not up to par for me. So I discarded that. So I did post it to show, what we do. And somebody said, oh, that's a good lettuce. I said, I personally won't eat it. Why do I want to cut it and serve it to my guest? I'm charging you enough for the salad, so might as well give it to you. So what do we do at the restaurant? It's really, this is it. You're not going to get any different quality. The hummus, for example, people don't understand. With all due respect to all hummus out there, my hummus takes 4 days to make.
All right. Tell us about that.
We buy dry chickpeas, number 9 chickpeas, not number 8, not number 7. This is the best chickpea you can buy, and it's Mexican. Don't tell me why it's not Lebanese, because there's no chickpeas in Lebanon. So we buy it Mexican. It's number 9. We soak it overnight with some baking soda.
Okay.
You know what?
Sodium bicarbonate.
That helps open it up. The next day we boil it. On the 3rd day we make it, and we serve it on the 4th day. We let all the flavors of the lemon juice, the garlic, and the salt come all together. That's why we sell tons of hummus. And everybody that tries the hummus, they say, this is the best hummus ever.
Do you drizzle yours with an oil?
Of course.
All right.
Extra
tell-
virgin olive oil.
Extra virgin. From where?
Extra. Madel oil
Yeah.
from Lebanon.
Okay.
From Lebanon, of course.
All right.
Don't get me wrong. The olive oil, the Lebanese, Italian, and Greek. This is the region for olive oil. If you want to buy, I'm not saying buy Lebanese, but this is where the best extra virgin olive oil comes from. Same with the baba ganoush.
Right.
You know what a baba ganoush is?
Yeah, it's eggplant.
Eggplant.
Yeah. Of course I knew, Kathy, right?
Baba ganoush is basically we take an eggplant, we grill it with skin on. But very important before we grill it is we poke holes in it, because you don't want the air to build inside that casing of the eggplant, because the minute you touch it, it's going to explode in your face.
Now,
So-
do you do like a salt coating first to draw out
No,
any
because
moisture? when you do that?
we leave the skin on.
Oh,
The
okay.
skin
So
is-
it's whole.
It's a hole.
Oh.
Yeah. The skin is to
okay.
protect the eggplant, the inside.
Yeah.
So when we grill it, when it's soft to the touch,
Okay.
you remove it, let it cool down, you slice it in half, and then you scoop out the inside of the eggplant. And then we add lemon juice, salt, and garlic, of course. Garlic. We love garlic, and tahini sauce.
I do too.
So this is the eggplant dip. This is what we do from scratch. We can buy it in a can. We can take it, drain the water, but that's not me. That's not how my brain works. If I'm charging you $12 for that appetizer, which is cheap for all the work, because you can get a big case of eggplant and you can get maybe this much out of it. Same with the grape leaves. We hand roll everything. So what we do? There's a lot of my food cost is inexpensive, but my labor is a little high because there's a lot of chopping involved. If we take the salad, for example, we have 4 different kind of salads. And let's take the fattoush salad. The fattoush salad has 3 different kind of lettuce in it. There's a romaine, there's green leaves, and there's radicchio. And then we're talking all chopped by hand. There's no machine to chop that. Then you have to dice the onions, to cut the cucumbers, to slice the radish, to chop the parsley.
And you have to have high quality knife cuts with all of that for presentation.
That's it. So this is what is involved in just the salad. We're not talking about the chicken. When it comes to chicken, we buy the trim chicken. We don't buy cheap. I almost said something. We don't buy cheap products.
Yeah.
The chicken, up to a month ago, when we were paying $60 a case, we were paying $183 a case of chicken. I could have bought the one for like $130, $140. It's a different quality, but that's, it's a bigger breast, which means sometimes you might have a tough bite into a chicken. So we stay with what we stay. We went up on our prices. Then we cut the chicken into cubes. Then we make the marinade. We marinate the chicken, and then we skew it, and then it goes up to the line to be cooked. So there's a lot involved in our cuisine as far as putting it together.
Ken, doesn't it sound a lot like what we heard from Lloyd down in Titusville?
Pretty much.
The care and the simple things,
Yeah.
Well, you know
and
what?
not overlooking the simple things.
You can taste it. If something is not up to par, a customer, and for us, we have a great selection of customers that understand food, so they will taste it. If I'm cooking just to cook for you, you're gonna know. But when I put passion in it and I'm, flipping the chicken every 30 seconds to make sure it doesn't burn, it's just cooking and the juice floats. You will know. People know when I'm cooking if I'm on the grill, they know that I'm cooking the chicken because it's nice and juicy. My diet tends to be a little dry.
Yeah, I even noticed on your menu Zetar oil. Now,
Oh my God!
Oh, now, do you actually get that already prepared, or you make it
No,
yourself?
we make it ourselves.
Oh, wow. How long does it take to infuse that?
Not a lot, but because we run it through the machine, kind of breaks it all.
Oh, okay.
But what is more interesting than the za'atar dressing, it's the toom. I bet you never tried the toom because if you did, you would have mentioned it. You know what a toom is?
No, this is not my level. You're one level. You're more than one level above me. But
I'm gonna bring
yeah,
you up.
I'm not.
I'm gonna bring you
there
up to
yet.
that level.
Yeah.
Or I'll come down to your level. Bring some toom with me. Toom, basically, is whipped garlic.
I've had something similar.
No.
No.
Yeah, maybe similar. No, not.
Go on. I
Whipped garlic,
I broke in. Yeah.
couple eggs, drizzle oil, salt, lemon juice. Becomes an
Okay.
aioli.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. I see that.
I can guarantee you can't just take one.
Yeah. I was thinking of something completely different. I had, but yeah, I
had
can
a
see that
customer-
aioli come together.
I had a customer from Troy, New York yesterday. He came for lunch, and he came back to dinner, and he did, I don't want to say demanded. He asked to speak with me, and he says, "Let me tell you, this right there," and he pointed to the tomb in a cup. Said, "This is crack." I came back tonight in the same day just for that. I said, "I know."
I have done that with the restaurant a couple of times.
This is a compliment.
Gone again the following, or, a few hours later.
How awesome is that to go to a restaurant, you get blown away, and he said, "You know what? I'm coming back."
Yeah.
But you know what is the sad part for me? I haven't found that restaurant yet.
Yeah, it's happened to me about twice, I think.
Yeah. That to say, I'm going back. I loved everything.
Yeah.
I can see bypass the service. If the food is good, man, I'm coming back.
Speaking of service,
Let's not go there.
no, we're gonna go there, and I'm not
So,
complaining
I
about
guess-
your
I guess-
service.
Well, I hope not. I hope not.
It's kind of tied into what I wanted to, just briefly touch upon. Are you still suffering because of COVID?
Of course.
Okay.
It's not COVID. COVID has nothing to do with it now.
Okay.
It's more about this. I think there's two facets to this issue. People got lazy, and people say, oh, they're still getting paid. Nobody's getting paid anymore. There's no more. The money dried up.
Right.
It dried up.
All right, you're talking about the government assistance.
Yeah.
Yep.
It dried up last September.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So you're seeing that problem where nobody wants to work, right?
Well, we put an ad out. They apply for a job. You call them up. You set up an interview. They don't show up.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not the only place I've heard that happening at.
You call them up. You set up an interview. They come in. Okay, can you start? Sure. When can you come in? Sure. They never showed up. Okay, you interview. You hire them. They come in. They work one day. They leave. Never come back. It's like I don't know what's going on. I know it's not us because I have 28 people on my team. I have 28 people working for me.
Wow.
We're not a hole in the wall. We are a full operation restaurant with 3 managers not on duty, 3 managers in total, bartenders, line cooks, prep people, dishwasher, host. It's a full operation. But the issue is right now, which I think this is the main issue, is DoorDash, Uber Eat, Grubhub. Let me tell you, I want to work. I grab my phone. I turn the app on, go work, make $100, $150. I'm done. Shut off my app and go home and do whatever I want to do. Versus me telling him you need to be here at 10 o'clock, you could be done at 6 o'clock. There's no work ethic anymore. Let me tell you.
Amen.
Yes, amen to that. I am so fortunate. I have my daughter's 15 years old, that she's going to be running the business, alongside with her brother that he's 17 years old. My daughter in the summer works, I don't want to say on an average, some weeks, works 50 to 55 hours a week. I tell her, I'm going to give you a day. We're not open Sunday. I said, I'm going to give you Sundays off, and I'm going to give you one more day off. I said, I don't want the day off. What I'm going to do is stay home on my phone all day. I said, you need to rest. I don't want to rest. I'm okay. Plus, I want to get you for the overtime.
I was that way when I was young.
She got me for the overtime. Let me tell you, but you know what? My daughter, I don't know if, I don't want to take credit for it, but they see that hard work will lead you places. And same with my son. My son worked for me in the past, and we had, this disagreement, and we had to part ways. And now he's back working for me. Let me tell you, and this is a story. This is not a story. This is a picture that's gonna go on my Facebook. It's gonna be her, me, and my boy, and it's gonna say, she's gonna seat you, he's gonna serve you, I'm gonna cook for you. It's truly a family affair, family business.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? But they love to work. But this generation, I don't know.
No, I don't think it's that. I think
I think it has a great part to do with it.
we see it in here though. The COVID being locked out, basically the school for over a year, really played head games with a lot of these kids, and they don't know what to do, and they lost a lot of socialization time. And honestly, I think
Explain
it's more
the 20-year-old.
It's more the device, not the weed. It's the device. They get sucked into the device and they nearly become autistic. It's brutal.
It is sad. I'll have to agree with you on that somewhat. But it's, come on, snap out of it. You know what I mean? You have
Come on, you're 25 years old.
right. It's like, what it's gonna take. Don't you want to buy a car
Do you still want? Do you want to live at your mom's when you're
in
30?
a basement?
Yeah.
But this is. I'm thankful that my kids are not lazy. My boy has 2 jobs. My daughter, she's in high school. But it's what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I'm working 3. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I work 3 jobs. This is I wanted the nice car. Let me tell you, I wanted the nice clothes. I wanted to have money to go spend. I worked.
Yep.
I played hard. I worked hard, and I don't want to say I played hard because I was too tired to play, but I played a little bit.
Chefs can play really hard at about 3:30 in the morning, depending on where you're living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
That is
yeah.
a tough. Let me tell you, man. Thank God. In my restaurant, I don't have that issue, but it's a big problem. But we
Yeah.
my-
No,
my-
I've read several of Anthony Bourdain's books when he got started up down on the Cape, and he was dealing. Oh my God!
yeah.
This was before he got, made his way over to La Bourdine. I mean, that was a hell of a life, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, a lot of people in that career, they end up looking in that.
Yeah, somehow, somewhere it leads you down that path. But did I get some people to work for me? Yeah, but their employment didn't last too long because we don't tolerate it.
Yeah,
Zero tolerance.
yeah. You mentioned Grubhub and DoorDash. I know that they were somewhat of a lifesaver during the pandemic, but for ongoing business, I know that most restaurateurs that I know love to hate them. Mostly they offer a great service, but there's a good chunk of percentage that goes out the door in order to do.
You know what? It's part of the business. DoorDash is more dominant than Grubhub with us. I think we probably do 15% of our business through DoorDash.
Now, does it financially make more sense to use that service or to just do the darn deliveries yourself?
It's no. I don't want to have to deal with drivers and my car broke down. I don't
Okay.
want to. So I'll
This is important
let me
information
tell-
to get out.
Let me tell you my way of thinking. That's why I became successful. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about you. If you want Nadim's and you can't come get it, is you can have DoorDash. Just how I think.
Okay.
Maybe this time you did a delivery, but next time you're coming to the restaurant. But if I don't make money on it. I'm not losing money on it. It's okay. My guy's in the kitchen anyway. If it gets too busy, we shut off DoorDash.
Oh,
They're not
okay.
priority for me.
All
My
right.
priority is you. If you call
The
a
house is
restaurant-
priority.
of course.
Yes.
You in my restaurant, sitting in my seat, you are priority. DoorDash is not. So the takeout at my end, which we shifting everything towards online orders on my website. You can order. I love technology, and what saves my butt during COVID and what kept me open and did more business than we were open is we had the online technology.
Right.
I was the. This is tell me. You tell me I have no technology. I'm listening. Tell me. So we signed up for online technology, and the beauty of that with me is you place your order. You order. You have to pay for it first of all.
Right.
It has to be paid. Your order goes straight to the kitchen. There's no interruption, no mistakes, no errors. You
So
make-
the ticket just shows up at the expediter and it's ready to go?
That's it. And it's already paid and closed. Done. So what do? We have a section we dedicated to an online orders. You come in, you pick it up, and you go. So during COVID, I learned, I didn't go to any college. I barely finished high school. But I consider myself a smart. There's two different smart. There's a street smart and there's a book smart. Book smart without street
Preach.
smart,
Yeah.
it's nothing. So thankfully, I am street smart. We come from Lebanon. You have to be. I don't want to say slick because it's not a good word to use. You have to be smart. You have to be clever. You know what I mean? So I always have a budget dedicated to advertising.
Right.
$5,000 a month. This is regardless.
And I can tell you you're getting your money's worth because I see the advertisements.
Aren't they beautiful?
They're
Let me
they're
tell
great
you.
pieces.
I consider myself one of the best. When I hire the best. They come with a price,
They do.
but you know what? They're working for me and they're doing a beautiful product.
Right.
So with my budget for advertising, instead of promoting the dining room, we shifted online order, curbside pickup. And we started doing delivery ourselves because DoorDash wasn't.
And I remember the outside dining too.
That's another thing, because when COVID hit in March 2020, dining room wasn't open, nothing was open, only takeout, right?
Right.
So we shipped takeout. We had lines outside. There was no one downtown, so it was our parking lot.
Oh yeah.
It was just stay in your car. We'll bring it out to you. Just go. They pop the trunk for us, to put it in the car. They go.
Yeah.
So now come, what is it, May, I think? They said we're going to allow you to have outdoor patio. Now, keep in mind, I don't think, we use, there's the patio that I have right now, 1/4 of it comes with my lease. The other space I used to lease from the building next door, and I used to do my tent to go. We use for lunch.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
$6 lunch, $7 lunch. You grab it and you go, man. People loved it because it was grab and go. We called it. So with COVID, happened, and then they said, okay, you can open the patio, but it has to be 6 feet apart. So we grabbed the measuring tape, we measured, boom, 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 boom. We expand the whole thing. So I pay lease for my space, and I pay lease for the other space. I lease it for 5 months out of the year, and then started opening inside 25%. And every time there's a change that goes on, I change my.
And there's still a call for the outside too.
Outside, it's still too late right now. I don't think anybody, I don't want to serve.
Too late in the
outside.
season, but
Yeah.
outside dining I think is here to stay.
Oh no doubt.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful. We have a beautiful patio, and everybody, our friend has every patio will do well. If you give me the choice between indoors or outdoors, I'll tell you, of course, outdoors, as long as it's not 90, 95 degrees outside. But we did very well during COVID. We were well received. The media loves me, and Channel 22, Channel 40, they always came down for interview. So this is,
I feel like I'm jumping on the train a little late.
Oh, you're at the end, Taylor.
Well, yeah,
I'm ready to retire now.
Yeah. You pretty much figured out that this is completely different than any of those other outlets.
This is much different, but this is, what I love. I love sharing my story, and I love to hear about, I'd love to hear more when you tell me I've been to the restaurant and I had this, this, and this, and when you tell me,
Well, in a couple more months, if you want, we can try that. Get more into food instead of just where you came from.
Yeah.
All right. I do have about 3.5 minutes left. I was going to talk about supply chain and menu prices. I don't think we want to go there right now because that takes more than 4 minutes. Here's a simple one.
Yes.
How's MGM been to you? Having it there.
Let me tell you, before they even open,
Mm-hmm.
they were, because those are all executives, they needed to go eat somewhere.
Oh,
So it's either Red Rose to their right
Mm-hmm.
or left to go to Nadim's, and we were loving it.
uh-huh.
And they were loving it. They loved the food. Come open time,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, it was crazy, because the
Now, are you still getting traffic because of them?
not much,
All right.
not much. They have, I think, the tab room. I don't think they fully operational that, and they have the other restaurant. I don't think. I'm sure they have the same issue with staffing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean, and it's difficult. But forget about MGM. I don't care about MGM. Let me tell you what I care about. I care about the Mass Mutual Center when they have a Thunderbird games.
Oh, yes, yes.
Symphony Hall. When they have a concert, don't come near me. Don't call me. Tell me, Nadim, you remember me? I'm gonna say I don't remember anyone at that point. You know what I mean? We are packed.
Right.
This is what I strive and what I look for when there's a conference going on at the Mass Mutual, when there's a concert going on at the Symphony Hall. This is when we're busy. Don't we have the Basketball Hall of Fame, we have the museum. That brings a lot of people to the city. That's why you see in my advertising, I don't talk about Nadim. I talk about all what's around us. It's not about Nadim. It's about the downtown. When you come downtown, guess what? You're gonna Google a restaurant near me. Guess who's gonna pop up the first one? It's gonna be me.
It's
So,
you. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Nadim, I want to thank you for taking some
you.
time out this morning
It's
and
my
getting to
pleasure.
know you. And I look forward to a couple of months from now actually getting in to talk about food and other things regarding the restaurant world.
I'd love it.
All right,